For you with Huntsman and vetting young talent over there, what's like the process going to be like for you guys over the next few years, right? Because I know people are thinking within the next couple of years, Foremost Gump maybe might not be playing, right? Like you don't know how long some of these older guys are going to play. So have you guys thought about that type of thing yet?
Uh, no. Yes. Look, there's always going to be talent out there, right? You see it with Howell and Drasa. Like they fucking came in and like murdered it, right? They represented for their AM scene like nobody else has up until this point, right? So for for us, the way that I think about it is like there's always going to be talented individuals out there, and it's just a matter of putting them next to already existing big personalities and sort of introduce them to the already existing fan base, and then we go from there, right? Like obviously, Envoy is what 19 years
He's
old.
young, yep. Same at our cities.
I think yeah, our city's the same thing, right? I look at young talent that we currently have, and I'm like, this is going to be what the future is. I felt the same way about TJ and Dashy last year, right? Like I'm like these are the two dudes that are going to carry this brand for the next couple of years, right? As we sort of see everything wind down or see the twilight of other people's careers, but obviously it ended up not happening. So I looked at other young up and comers, obviously like Envoy and Alec, and I'm like just like, all right, so the talent's there. Whether or not we're able to, or I'm able to extract the personality out of them in such a way that it will translate and recreate those sort of relationships with our fans, then obviously we have a working formula. So that's
Yeah.
rinse and repeat for me.
So are you gonna plan to keep this roster going to the new game? I'm just gonna hit
Yes.
you with a hot one.
Yeah,
Yeah?
of course.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Yeah. I always
Yeah.
love to see teams staying together, regardless of the outcome of champs, right?
Yeah, look, you look at talent, and if they're good enough to compete, and my team obviously is, full of superstars. Like winning to me is just a small factor of us building a brand that's going to last a lifetime. So for me, it's like we have the perfect pieces, right? Every single one of our players is like insanely talented. So for me to sort of like recycle people and then bring in new people, like that's not the way that I've ever ran any of the teams, including
Yeah.
the old one. I need the sense of familiarity, right? Like we in essence are a show that provides content on a weekly basis for our fan base. And when you're introducing and removing and adding different personalities, like it affects the formula a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm like extremely happy with the team that I have right now, regardless of the previous outcomes, regardless of how things have gone. I don't know. I mean, I still like every single one of them. And when it comes to scouting talent, like I'm never gonna be that dude. Like
Yeah.
I will never be that dude. And in esports, like a lot of people, unless they're unless the coaches or the GMs have played Call of Duty for as long as some of you have, that really know this and can separate relationships from that shit. Because I can't, right? I obviously
Yeah.
love my family, and that's it. I'm picking who I know over someone who's better. I don't give a shit about that, right? As long as I have my staple five, everything else is sort of additive to that. So I'll never be that guy, right? I would look to an expert to find the better talent out there.
It's awesome that you entrust, like you put so much trust into the squad, right? And they've done a really good job so far. Like that decision with behind Gunless, me and John were like really against it at the time, and it just paid off. So clearly they know what's going on. If you had that talk with them, like, yo, regardless of champs, like next year, you guys want to stick together, and they said yeah, or how'd that go?
Say that again. Ask me again.
Have you guys had like that big talk, like regardless of champs, like this is the roster you guys want to have going into next year, or what?
Yes, several times.
That's
Whether
good.
whether whether that's what happens on the other side, like the good thing about franchise leagues is that the org has a little bit more power in a situation like this. Obviously, we invest a lot of money on a yearly basis for that. So for us to exercise our rights as team owners, I think that gives this a better fighting chance. For what it's worth, and I'm not down talking anybody else. Like I know what I have to offer the players. I know
Yeah.
how I can help them grow, and I know that the formula that I've created has allowed people to make additional income with side hustles just off of being affiliated with us. So if you're a smart player, you stick with what benefits you. So
Oh yeah,
I
hundred
think that we're
percent.
very I think we're in a very good spot. Yeah.
Did you guys see Adam's tweets today? Kind of change the topics because last time when I was on Eavesdrop, me and Hecz talked about the bubble, John.
Okay.
And if we could do that with Call of Duty. And Adam let out a pretty interesting spree of tweets talking about how much it would realistically cost, right? Like he was like, off the cusp, I'm thinking 7 million for a bubble. And that's like probably 50 to 100%, lower than what it would actually be. And it kind of makes it hard to seem possible for COD, right? Like we have a $4.6 million prize pool. It's like, how could they justify doing a bubble? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Simple.
Because we were talked about. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go. I'm
Just one quick piece. One quick piece. Because of those tweets earlier, I looked it up. I was talking to Nameless about this. I looked it up to see what the NBA bubble costs, and it costs $150 million for the NBA to run their bubble for whatever it was, 8 games plus the playoffs. $150 million. I understand that the COD would be a shorter time span, but when people say bubble, I don't fully believe that they have all this in mind. Like, it's a lot that goes into making sure that everyone can stay safe, and you can have the tests all the time and food brought in safely and all that. It's a lot. And the NBA can't play from home, and we can. So, I don't know. It's just a tough thing.
Can we? I mean, you've seen what happened in the last 2 days, dude.
We're going to get into that, too.
Yeah, look, I think that is possible 100%. We discussed it as team owners. We discussed it as an org with other orgs. Like, I think that there is a way in which we can go get Airbnbs for as long as we want, right? We don't have to go to necessarily a hotel. We can there's ways to do it. Absolutely, right? Like there's ways to do it where we don't have to spend, fucking $150 million, right? There's definitely ways to do it. The difficulty comes with how many players are going to leave their girlfriends back at home, right? To go live in a place for call it 2 months while we play champs in a LAN environment. Obviously here in Texas we have plenty of facilities that could be, they could be open to doing something like that. There's ways to do it where it's efficient, but when you think about the bad possibility, the repercussions of somebody, a young dude getting sick without knowing an underlying condition, and the end is, the result is a death. Nobody could ever live with that. As an esport, we couldn't live with that. It would, everybody who would originally say is like, oh shit, look, Call of Duty, like call it CS:GO, call it League of Legends, call it OWL, call it whoever, who are saying it's like, look at that, Call of Duty's fucking making it happen and it fucking works. If nothing happens, then boom, it worked. If someone dies, everybody will be like, oh, they're so irresponsible. If I was the parents, I would sue the league. I would sue the teams. I would sue this, that, and the other.
That could be the end of everything, right? What we built, which is a risk. Are we willing to take that risk? Is like,
absolutely not.
I'm not really willing to take that risk. But then the question asks, you even said it like, can we do it online? And we've tried our best, but it's been really tough, man. And today and yesterday were big examples of that, with people lagging out, etc. How do we fix that? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Dude, call it what it is, right? They weren't lagging out. They were being kicked offline, which is fucking even worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks, right? You can't. I don't know what to do, right? I don't know how to give advice. I don't know how to, because it's a discussion that we're all having, right? Yeah. It's like, how do we make this not suck as bad as it is right now? And to me, there really isn't any clear answer. But when it comes down to the amount of money that 9th and 10th place are going to make, that's still more than they would have made if we had canceled it all and just said, let's hope for 2021 to be a little bit better. Yeah. So what were we supposed to do? Anytime there's money on the table, I'm going to tell every single one of the people that has the opportunity to grab it to fucking grab that money, because you don't know where you're going to be in a year. You don't know. Yeah. It's a deteriorating skill. It's not something that's lasting forever. You may be hot one day, one year. You're not going to be hot the next year. You don't know. So you grab the bag where you can,